A very interesting theory with the Bloodline has just been started up by a legend, so we'll see what that's about. We'll also check out what's going on with Randy, Roman Reigns, and more. Starting things off with Randy Orton versus Gunther. Their story for the August 19th edition of Raw was very simple and repeated some of the things we've been hearing over the last few weeks. Gunther's argument is that Randy Orton can't just hit the RKO on him, and how that's impossible to do. Randy did technically hit Gunther with an RKO the week prior, but Gunther swears it was just a one-time thing and won't happen again. Randy explained his desperation to become a 15-time world champion, and how he needs to get this done. Randy eventually faced Kaiser in the main event and defeated him before another brief brawl with Gunther took place. So it's a very simple story, but it's absolutely working at the moment. First-time world champion who's fresh into his reign versus the longtime veteran that's looking for his 15th world title reign. Randy Orton built even more hype and discussion for this upcoming match with Gunther during a recent interview with Daily Mail. Orton praised Gunther for his work ethic, presentation, and just overall ring style. Orton really got some discussion going when he pointed out in that interview that it's been over 4 years since he main evented and closed out a premium live event himself. He said he would love to main event Bash in Berlin with Gunther, and thinks this match is worthy enough of going on last at the event. But Orton also acknowledged what Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes was brewing up, and completely understood if they got the main event spot on the Bash in Berlin card. And Orton brings up an interesting conversation because yes, technically, WWE likes to present the idea that both world titles are on the same tier as each other, but fans know that the WWE Championship does have the slight edge over the world title due to its prestigious long history. Meanwhile, the new world title is just a heritage that goes back to its creation of 2023. So that's why the WWE title is always going to come first and get that main event privilege. But looking at both matchups and stories at the moment, they're pretty equal. Randy Orton versus Gunther and Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens both don't have the hottest stories surrounding the match. They're pretty much on the same tier in terms of intensity of the stories right now. So when you look at it like that, maybe it's a 50-50 shot of them getting the main event over the other. On the other hand, it's Cody Rhodes and the WWE Championship. Gotta give whatever he's doing the main event spot. But on the other hand, you got Gunther in front of his home country with his first title defense. Could they at least give him the main event spot just at this event? That's a big conversation fans are having right now, and no one will have the answer to that situation, at least not until earlier in the day of Bash in Berlin when the match order gets reported. Now let's get into this very fun and interesting theory that's coming from Mark Henry himself. During a recent conversation on Busted Open Radio, Mark Henry opened up about what he expects to see from the Bloodline story. Henry acknowledged what's happening right now in the battle between Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns, but Henry believes the battle will truly start when The Rock returns to the storyline. Over the last few months, fans have basically expected and assumed that The Rock would side with Solo Sikoa and stand behind him, since they're both the heel side of things right now. But Mark Henry proposes a different idea, and that's the theory that he believes The Rock shouldn't be on either side. Mark Henry says that The Rock won't stand behind Roman or Solo, but will instead stand on his own side while still trying to get the tribal chief position for himself instead. And Mark Henry makes a lot of sense with this theory, especially when you dive into some of the characteristics that we saw from the final boss version of The Rock's character in 2024. The Rock's character on WWE television basically slowly morphed into this massive, narcissistic psychopath in 2024. He cut right in front of Cody Rhodes and the entire locker room because he wanted to dethrone Roman Reigns of the WWE title. And at the Vegas press conference, The Rock gave this whole presentation on the family background, explaining the match. But knowing The Rock's new character, the other simple explanation for having this match was that he simply wanted the WWE title. And after all this stuff with Cody Rhodes started to unfold, The Rock did technically fall in line and acknowledge Roman. But throughout that WrestleMania build-up, you can spot several instances where The Rock still appeared to be carrying himself as the Bloodline's #1 option, never truly under Roman's control. And on the night after WrestleMania 40, The Rock basically said that Roman is old news and over with, and how he himself deserves a title match with Cody Rhodes. So as you can see, Mark Henry's theory pretty much checks out, and the seeds are already planted for that direction. Why would The Rock return to stand behind Solo Sikoa? That just doesn't seem like the thing that this version of The Rock would do. Solo is family, he loves him, but The Rock doesn't want to help Solo become WWE champion. He wants to become WWE champion himself. He even said that on the Raw after WrestleMania. So given all the information and facts, it actually does make perfect sense for The Rock to break off from both Roman and Solo and create a third little tribe within the Bloodline Civil War. And obviously assuming that Roman and Solo's groups will be in full strength with multiple members, maybe that means that The Rock will have to bring in some new henchmen of his own. And maybe The Rock's member could bring in some of the family members and individuals that both Roman and Solo rejected and didn't take in. The fact that these individuals and family members were ignored and not recruited by both Roman and Solo will give them that extra motivation to help The Rock take out Roman and Solo, therefore presenting the big twist that this current story won't end with either Roman or Solo being tribal chief, but with The Rock coming in and hijacking the tribal chief position for himself. The Rock beats down Roman and Solo and then goes on to challenge Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship in a match that maybe he could possibly win, just to complete this entire villain arc for his character. He takes down his entire family, steals control of the family, and then steals the WWE Championship. The Rock executing a plan like this with this endgame like that is something that would really live up to the final boss persona and nickname. To know that he accomplished all of that and is left standing with all the family control and the most prestigious title in all of WWE, nothing screams final boss more than that entire scenario right there. And from there on, maybe start moving into Roman Reigns versus The Rock, this time around with a great detailed backstory and build-up. Roman Reigns picks himself from the ground and goes on this underdog journey to take down the final boss, who at this point in the story would have all the control and power in WWE. And in that scenario, you would have Roman Reigns being the all-time greatest hero to put an end to this reign of terror from The Rock. A situation and storyline of that magnitude surrounding The Rock versus Roman Reigns sounds a million times better than the story that they were talking about doing between them at WrestleMania 40. Sure, you could say that the company was teasing this match for a while, but there was no actual deep storyline background between The Rock and Roman Reigns heading into WrestleMania 40. Cody Rhodes, at that point in time, had the better story with Roman Reigns, and that's why fans naturally gravitated in that direction. But if WWE goes down the path like Mark Henry is thinking about, The Rock versus Roman Reigns will become undeniable and will become quite possibly the biggest dream match with no one getting in the way of them this time around. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.